It's vital that you get down a rhythm when producing content. It will help you get over the traffic humps of how long it takes for content to rank. If you create content in spurts, that's how your site will grow. Each piece of content takes time to rank in Google, and it doesn't matter how old your website is. If you understand this, then it's possible to see why creating content continually is essential. It levels out the traffic flow, and it means you won't see these odd spikes. Those spikes are like sugar highs and end up making you think this is how it's always going to be. It's when the spike goes down that you realize the danger of producing content on an irregular cycle. Also, it tends to make people give up because they think something is wrong with their site since it's spiking and then going down in traffic. This is natural, and the only way to avoid it long term is by always updating with content as much as you possibly can. It seems like a waste of time to create content without the initial purpose of making money. It's a terrible idea for beginners to put making money in front of everything else. You're not going to make any money in the beginning. That's the truth, and there's no way that you're going to be any different than anyone else. You can't make money right away no matter what you do. So, instead of worrying about money, focus on the quality of your content. It's the one thing that you can control from the very beginning. Another common mistake is that people write content with Google in mind. They tend to forget that actual people are reading their content. Your focus at all times should be on the reader who needs help answering questions. The reason they're coming to your page in the first place is more than likely to find a solution to their problem. If you make the mistake of writing for Google first and not people, then you'll end up missing out on the human element of content production. Always address the needs of your visitors before considering making money or what Google wants. Always put the visitor first. Then you'll make Google happy almost all the time. The money will start to trickle in, and then it'll become a flood. How long it takes is dependent on your niche and other factors, but it'll take around a year for you to see the type of results you're looking for. That's a long time, and there's nothing that you can do about it. It's a matter of waiting and producing the highest quality content possible. Search engine optimization takes a long time, and those who have the patience for it are rewarded with high quality traffic. Anyone who wants to hurry the process or find shortcuts will suffer the consequences for their impatience. You need to be seen as someone who knows what they're talking about in your niche. There are many different ways of achieving influencer status. It takes time to build up a reputation that people trust, but it can be done. The first places you should work to establish yourself is social media. It's free to do so, and there are plenty of people to rub shoulders with. After you go that route, then you want to visit message boards and maybe even Reddit. Also, don't overlook YouTube comments, as they too are a great way to show off your mastery of the subject at hand. Not all guest posting is done in hopes of receiving a backlink. Sure, it's great to get a link to your content from a site that has plenty of authority, but the even better thing is to have people exposed to your content. Better yet, they get to know who you are. Guest posting at the right sites will get people to notice who you are. It'll open up you to a whole new audience. That's a good thing, as you can never be exposed to too many people. You should jump on board of any guest posting opportunity, even if it doesn't give you a link back. Make sure to use your name and profile picture. Google will remember this and associate your name and profile picture with your other content. Stuff like that matters in the eyes of Google, and they can follow you around the internet. You have to put in the hard work to get the respect of others. The same is true with Google. It takes quite a bit of work to build authority. Put in the hard work up front and reap the rewards later on. That's how it works for everyone, and you're no different. Go out of your way to make sure the public knows that you're an expert in your field. If you do, then your content will gain exposure, and it'll receive the traffic your hard work deserves. Some of you may already be experts in your field. It's entirely possible that your entire life has been spent researching the topic. However, most of you won't fit into this category. You'll have to research every post thoroughly before writing it. Experts have to do research from time to get statistics or other information. You may be a master mechanic, but it's entirely possible you'll have to look up the gas mileage of the latest Ford Mustang. The information that you need can more than likely be found on the internet. You need to look for it. Some people hate doing research, and it's understandable if you don't like to do it. If this describes you, then you may want to consider doing it as a means of breaking up your routine. There's no reason why you can't do all the research days or weeks in advance. If you go this route, then make sure to document all of your findings in a way that's easily accessible later on. Organization is vital when it comes to continually creating the best quality content possible. If you're not organized, then all the hard work you've done will be a waste of time. This is the natural way backlinks are built across the internet. If you cite something, then it's best to link to it. Google will not penalize you for linking to information that you found useful. Some believe that it's a good thing for a site to link out to resources, as it means that you're taking content creation seriously. Don't worry about linking out too often in a piece of content. The right amount of links is the number needed to show your readers where the information came from. If all you need is one link, then that's fine. But if you need more, don't think Google will penalize your page or domain because you've linked out too many times. It's a huge mistake to think that your content will flow naturally. There are so many different ideas and messages that you're trying to convey in your content. How do you keep from forgetting it? The way that you do is by making a framework before you begin writing. A building has a frame, and so should your content. The content of your site will determine the success and failure of everything. You can't possibly take content production too seriously. Standing on the right foot is a must to make sure that the piece of content naturally flows and addresses all the needs and concerns of the reader. You can set the framework in a word processing document or even a text file. It may work best for you to create the subheadings first. The subheads can guide you along the way as you create the piece of content. How you set up the framework isn't as important as sticking to it. The end goal here is to stay on topic while also providing the best information possible. If you veer too far off the topic, then you'll confuse Google and your readers. Having an outline for what to write should help you stay on topic and focused on what you're trying to convey to your readers. The biggest reward for staying on topic is you'll rank for long-tail keywords. Why? It's because you'll naturally include those in your content if you stay focused. It's when you are all over the place that it confuses Google. Stay right on topic at all times, and Google will know exactly what you're talking about. The content you produce will rank for far more keywords, and your readers will find it more useful. Google stops reading content at a point when it veers too far off topic. All the content after that point is a waste of space. You won't rank for anything beyond the point in the content Google feels that their users will find useful. This is a fact that many content producers are starting to learn the hard way. Google is much smarter than it once was, and it evaluates content strictly. Backlinks are a constant concern of anyone who produces content. We all know that Google places a high amount of importance on backlinks. The problem most content producers have is building up several relevant backlinks that have an impact on Google. If you're worried about this, then you're thinking way too hard about it. All of your brain power should be put into creating the highest quality content possible. Anything short of that, and you're not going to succeed in the world of content marketing. What's the trick to building backlinks without having to pay for them? The trick is producing the type of content that site owners naturally link to. Think about the pages that you naturally link to when you're creating content. Those pages are always of the highest quality. You only mention information in your content that is valuable. The same reason you do that is the same why others will link to the content on your pages. The best links you'll ever get are those that can't be bought. People who run authoritative sites don't accept money for links, as that's against Google's policies. If you want a link that will boost your Google rankings, the only way to get it is to create content that people link to. You more than likely don't believe a word of this. It's because you've been conditioned to believe that you must buy links. If you're not buying them, then you have to do something else to get links. That's not the truth at all. If you work hard to be seen as an influencer in your niche, people will find out about your work. From there, your pages will naturally rank in Google. Some of those people who search Google will be site owners. If they find your content useful, then you'll receive free backlinks. This is by far the best and also the most honest way of getting links to your site. Google is stringent, and they will penalize anyone who does anything in an attempt to trick them. The punishment from Google can be anything from a drop in the rankings to being delisted. The risk is far too high to do anything misleading. Instead, create the best content you can, and the links will eventually pour in. The secret many content producers don't tell people is how important data and statistics are. This information is a hidden gem, and it helps them rank and gets backlinks naturally. You will have to go out there and get your own statistics. Sure, it's not going to be easy. You'll have to do quite a bit of work to compile the information. However, it's well worth the effort. The way you set your content apart from the rest is by making it unique. If all you're doing is regurgitating everything on the internet, then that's not going to work. It will work if you want a site that does moderately well, but never entirely takes off. That should never be your goal. Content takes way too much time and effort to produce to settle for anything other than success. Numbers don't lie. The data you gather should be in the form of numbers. There's an almost endless amount of data that you can produce if you're willing to do the work. If you're in the gardening niche, you can test different tomato seeds to see how long it takes to germinate them. Then, you can weigh the final product to see which plants produce the biggest tomatoes. Gathering this sort of information doesn't have to be expensive or lots of work. It will require more work than searching the internet for the answers. You can also document the entire experience in the form of pictures and videos. Your readers would love watching the videos on YouTube, and you'll get some traffic from there if you include a link to your site in the description. You know your niche inside and out. What information would you like to know, but no one else is providing? If you have a site, do-it-yourself repairs, go to several of the big box hardware stores and see how much the same materials cost at them. Make price comparisons on how much it would cost to replace a kitchen sink faucet. There are all kinds of information out there that the public would find interesting and useful, but no one is providing it for them. This is the sort of thing that not only makes people link to your site, but draws visitors to come back for more. Everyone loves unique content, and you can't get more unique than data and statistics that no one else has. A piece of content has to have a life of its own other than sitting on your website. How can you repurpose content? There are quite a few ways, and the most popular way is by creating YouTube videos around the content. If you have old content that isn't receiving the traffic you'd like, then make a video for it. Don't forget to add a link in the description of the video for your content. You also might want to think about creating a video for every new piece of content. The video can be added to the page where the written content. People will watch your video, and this will lower your bounce rate.